lead us in a word of prayer?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Shall we pray? Father in heaven, once again, we just come before your presence. Before we start this meeting, just to acknowledge you. We thank you for this day and everything that this day has to offer. We thank you for each and every one that's here. We thank you for this village board as well as this mayor. Father in heaven, as we go forth in this meeting, we pray in Jesus' name that you will be glorified and that we may all be on one accord and that we may take care of the business of this community.
Yes.
Remember the children, oh God, as they go to and fro, during these summer days. Be with them, keep them. In
Yes.
Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Amen. The Village Board of Trustees regularly scheduled board meeting will now come to order. The date is June 7th, 2023. The time is 5:14. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Charles Griffin,
Present.
Trustee Freddie Wilson,
Present.
Trustee Elliot Harper,
Present.
Trustee Jimmy Viverette,
Present.
Trustee Antoina McMichaels,
Here.
Trustee Tyrese Andrews.
Present.
Let the record reflect, Mayor, that Trustee Johnny Griffin is not in attendance, but you do have enough for a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda? So moved. Moved by Trustee Wilson, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Trustee McMichaels, all in favor, use sign of aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. So ordered. Can I have a motion to approve the board, minutes dated May 17, 2023?
Slow move now.
Moved by Trustee McMichaels, is there a second? Second by Trustee Wilson. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Wilson,
Yes.
Trustee Andrews,
Yes.
Trustee McMichaels,
Yes.
Trustee Harper,
Yes.
Trustee Viverette.
Yes.
The motion is carried to approve the regular meeting minutes for May 17, 2023.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. There's a number of resolutions under the mayor's report that we have to act on this afternoon because they're actually due to Cook County today. So item A is consideration with possible action to approve resolution number 2023-06-07-08. A resolution requesting that the Village of Fort Heights be allowed to participate in Cook County's no cash bid program for tax delinquent property. Can I have a motion to approve?
Slow move now.
Moved by Trustee Wilson, may I have a second?
Second.
Second by Trustee Andrews. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Viverette,
Yes.
Trustee Harper,
Yes.
Trustee McMichaels,
Yes.
Trustee Andrews,
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
The motion is carried to approve resolution number 2023-06-07-08, a resolution requesting that the Village of Fort Heights be allowed to participate in Cook County's no cash bid program for tax delinquent occupied commercial properties.
Okay, the next, resolution is dealing with tax delinquent unoccupied, commercial properties. Consideration with possible action to approve resolution number 2023-06-07-09. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Wilson, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Trustee McMichael, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Andrews,
Yes.
Trustee Viverette,
Yes.
Trustee McMichaels,
Yes.
Trustee Harper,
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
The motion is carried to approve resolution number 2023-06-07-09, a resolution requesting that the Village of Fort Heights be allowed to participate in Cook County's no cash bid program for tax delinquent unoccupied commercial properties.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The next resolution is for tax delinquent unoccupied residential, properties. Consideration with possible action to approve resolution number 2023-06-07-10. Resolution requesting that the Village of Fort Heights be allowed to participate in Cook County's no cash bid program for tax delinquent unoccupied residential property. Okay. Can I have a motion to approve? Now.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Wilson, is there a second? Second. Second by trustee Andrews, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee McMichaels?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Harper?
Yes.
Trustee Andrews? Trustee Barrett?
Yes.
The motion has carried to approve resolution number 2023-06-07-10, a resolution requesting that the Village of Fort Heights be allowed to participate in Cook County's No Cash Beer Program for tax delinquent unoccupied residential properties.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. Next resolution is for tax delinquent vacant properties. Consideration with possible action to approve resolution 2023-06-07-11. A resolution requesting that the Village of Fort Heights be allowed to participate in Cook County's No Cash Bid Program for tax delinquent vacant lots. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Wilson, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Andrews, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Harper?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Andrews?
Yes.
Trustee Barrett?
Yes.
Trustee McMichaels?
Yes.
The motion has carried to approve resolution number 2023-06-07-11, a resolution requesting that the Village of Fort Heights be allowed to participate in Cook County's No Cash Bid Program for tax delinquent vacant lots.
And let me note, Madam Clerk and, Board of Trustees, that in your package, you have a color-coded itemized list. It's like this. Okay, on the far right-hand corner, it has a status column. That status either says yes or no. If it's yes, these are properties that we're gonna seek. This is like 500 pins. And what our rate is paying, we're paying $1,000 a pin to get acquisition of these properties. We don't have the money to go up to 500 pins. So we pre-identified those pins of priority. And so you would look at those pins that's a priority that has like either yes, or if you continue, and in some categories, it has new. New is that they've never been at a scavenger sale or a regular tax sale. And so we had to do this in order to get the list to the attorney at his office so that he can get the real estate attorney to do an analysis of every pen. There's a lot of work that's involved in this. We kind of dropped the ball a couple times on it. We can't afford to drop the ball this time around. A lot of development that's happening. It's easier to develop residential, industrial, or commercial property if you have acquisition of that property. And if you do not have acquisition of it, very little you can do. And that's just for the board's clarification. But what I want the board to do is to adopt this particular list, because this list will have certain pins on it, Madam Clerk, that's not on your resolution. And I want the authority from the board to be able to incorporate those last minute pins that I ended up at Reverend Franklin to put in, that's not on your resolution. See, each one of these pins have to be on the resolution that goes to Cook County, you know, in order for it to go in front of the Cook County Board of Commissioners for acquisition. So can I have a motion to approve the entry of any pins that might be missing off of the resolution, to be, have the clerk and the mayor to be able to do an addendum to add those particular pins and execute it and get this to the county. Moved by trustee Barrett, is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Second by trustee McMichael, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Andrews?
Yes.
Trustee Harper?
Yes.
Trustee Barrett?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee McMichaels?
Yes.
The motion has carried to adopt this list to give the mayor and clerk authority to add to the resolution as needed.
Thank you. And finally, item E, consideration with possible action to approve the amended site plan for One Investment Holdings LLC at 900 East Joel Road, please refer to the map that is included in your board pack. And if you look at the map that's included in your board pack, you would notice that, One Investment Holdings they initially proposed to build 2 trucking facilities. One building that would be mostly office space, and the second building that would do some sales of truck accessories. This is right off of Cottage Grove and Joe Orr Road. So if you look at the site plan now, what they're asking for the board to do, and this has been through planning and zoning, the board has already voted to rezone that area M2 as manufacturing 2. And so what they asked for was my particular opinion, and after I give them my opinion, the process is to get the board's approval. And my opinion is that, yes, we certainly will approve the revised site plan. And as you see, the revised site plan calls for a strip mall. Okay, if you look at the plan off of Cottage Grove, office buildings in the front, along with a gas station. So what this thing does is, as opposed to just generating some TIF funds or some property taxes, it will now generate motor fuel taxes, it will now generate sales tax, and it generates an abundance of municipal revenue, because a lot of folks don't understand what the plan is for Joel Road. The plan for Joel Road is for it to run within the next 3 years to Munster, Indiana. And so already the traffic, since they extended it to Torrance, has quadrupled. And so now it will continue to just increase. The traffic count will be humongous in 3 years. And so these folks know, that's why they're willing to invest $20 and $30 million, on these types of projects. So are there any questions in reference to the site plan and the request?
I have a question.
Trustee Wilson.
Now, is this on Cottage Grove or on Joy Road?
The office building is on Jewel Road. The gas station and mini mall is on Cottage Grove.
Okay. Well, which way are you looking at this, like? So which way is it?
Okay,
Okay, this
the
Cottage
building,
Grove.
this is the office building.
Okay.
Okay, so this is Jewel Road.
Okay.
Okay, Cottage Grove is running. Right. Now, understand, that's, I would recommend for the board's approval to amend the site plan. And with the understanding that if in addition we want to amend it again, we will be able to do so. But this continues to allow them to do their design work. They need their architects, their civil engineers, the electrical engineers, et cetera, to continue to do due diligence. And so,
Yeah, my other question is, when are they intending to get started right away, or?
well, first you do your plans. After you get your plans completed and everything kind of approved, then this is probably a 24 project.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Any other questions from the council?
No, sir.
Well, thank you so much. Can I have a motion to approve? Moved by trustee McMichael, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Wilson. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Vivarette?
Yes.
Trustee Harper?
Yes.
Trustee McMichael?
Yes.
Trustee Andrews?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yeah.
The motion is carried to approve the amended site plan for One Investment Holdings LLC at 900 East Joe Orr Road.
Okay, thank you. That concludes the mayor's report. Legal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to report to the council that contracts have been received and are pending signatures of the village for the Lincoln Village Home. So I believe Mr. Burton and his crew has either started or they should be ready to start immediately. We should be closed on that site as expeditiously as possible till Mr. Burton is ready. We provided them with the letter of commendation that I think their financer is looking for. We also had court today for tower contracting versus the Village of Fort Heights. The case was continued until July 13th of 2023. If we have made another payment prior to that time, we don't, we'll just continue it on. If not, then we would have to appear in open court, which is, the court is requiring our appearance. I think tower construction has been pretty lenient in terms of working with us. And hopefully we will be able to at least say to them that we have put in the request for reimbursement of the rec center. And that is pending. I think with that they'll be more than willing to put it over. As far as land consulting company is concerned, we have concluded that obligation. They are in the process of preparing full release of satisfactions, which upon receipt of, I'll be recording those with the recorder office and the circuit court. And the last thing I want to report is that we're still waiting for IMF to determine whether or not the Fort Heights School District 169 problem is going to be covered by them. So they have not agreed to liability as of right now. We're waiting for that. I believe that Woods was deposed by the other lawsuit with Mr. Johnson. If not, he's pending a time to be deposed. And Mr. Mayor, that is my report.
Well, in the legal, I would ask, Mr. Burns here,
Yes.
would you stand, please?
Yes, thank you.
Are there, what's needed, we need to get going.
Yes.
So, where are you at? We will, sign off on, I gave the administrator today the documents, contracts and stuff that I received this afternoon. We will execute that tomorrow. What else is needed in terms of getting going? I could, say to Trustee Wilson, you may want to look at how we could work with Mr. Bird in terms of building permit. You know, I would say that you're building new construction. Let's see if we can give them some type of break and whatnot to encourage new construction. And so all these things, I think that maybe in the next day or so, we should kind of gather and see if we can work out whatever the dynamics and details are with that.
Yes.
And the quick claim deeds,
Yes.
are they Word documents or PDFs?
Well, I actually presented them to you hard copies.
I know, I got the hard copy.
I can put them in either Word or PDF, whichever you prefer.
Well, it doesn't make a difference, it's just the date, you know, we got a contract being signed on the 8th of June, came very well have a deed conveying the property in February.
Then
So we just need to
Yes,
update
sir.
the date
The date,
for
yes.
the deed, and we ready to go.
Fantastic. I can bring it to your office first thing tomorrow morning, if that's okay with you.
Not a problem.
Yes, sir. I'll bring,
But if
okay,
they're
okay.
in Word, I can make the changes. I
I'm
don't
not
know.
exactly sure, but I can
Okay.
make it either way. Yes,
Okay,
sir. Mhm.
not a problem.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
And
what
then
else?
that's all we would be in need of.
Okay, Trustee Wilson, has been actually designated dependent, person with this project.
Okay,
And I would, suggest, let's walk it through, let's make sure, let's get this going.
Yes.
Let's get it going, because you'll know it'll be fall.
Yes, Mayor, I have one question.
Yes.
With this project, is we talking about working something out on the permits for his licensed plumber, his electrician, his?
No, you'll have to get contractor's license or subcontractor license.
Okay.
But on the overall permit, we could work with them on that.
Okay,
Okay? I would say at least for the first 10 homes.
okay.
We're gonna encourage him to do at least 10,
Yes.
you know.
He said he
Now,
gonna
anything,
move
we
on,
know
but-
that he sells 10 homes, then he'll need them more, purchase. You know, so, that would be a sarcastic,
Yes, sir.
okay?
How
But-
soon you wanna close?
I would like to close it at least Friday, no later than Monday. We want to start Tuesday.
Well,
I have our builders here
The only
today.
problem with that until the contract is signed, and they'll do that tomorrow.
Right.
But we can close it next week, but I need a closing statement from you of the balance owed.
Yes,
That's
we can
okay.
issue that. Would it be okay, and I know that Trustee Wilson has been encouraging us, but since we are now at this point having this conversation, is it safe to say that we can actually start while these interim things are still pending over the next few days, as we would like to?
If you're comfortable with it,
Right.
because there's no liability on the village part.
Have you, would your general contractor need to get, contractor's license?
Yes,
Where they submit the proper certificates of insurance,
yes.
you know,
And
right?
That is correct, Mayor.
And as long as you got the insurance, the proper insurance and liability insurance in place, yeah, you could,
Okay, we'll bring that to the office on Friday.
yeah.
We'll
Okay.
order it tomorrow. We have it, for another.
Now,
project.
let me give you this bit. I met with, the assessor, Cook County assessor,
Yes, sir.
and you may be able to work with me on this piece of legislation. The village of Bellwood passed a piece of legislation that caps the property tax amount, the rate that you could charge on a new construction for affordable housing. Now, this is huge,
Yes.
because, you know, based on that Cook County formula, you do not want to build $150,000, $200,000 home, and the property tax bill end up being $8,000.
Absolutely.
But if you look at what they did in Bellwood, he assures me that either we can piggyback off of that and be kind of grandfathered in, or we could create a piece of legislation that would be specifically for the village of Fort Hays. But what you're doing, it makes sense, because I can tell you the last new home project, the reason why it wasn't successful was because of property tax escalation.
Yes.
See, okay?
Yes,
But
sir.
we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Thank
okay?
you. Is there a
Now,
particular time I should come by your office, please?
tomorrow is
Thursday.
Thursday.
Should I call and speak with the secretary and see how your agenda is?
Either call my cell number, you have, it,
I do.
okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm gonna
Thank you.
ask also under legal that we're done though, Mr. Burke, Reverend,
I'm sorry.
I said Reverend.
Yes, sir. What would you like me
Okay,
to do?
no, I just said we're done.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask under legal, attorney that we bring the CPA up also.
Okay.
And give us, her presentation and
Is she here?
representative on it.
Oh, there she is.
Yes, Ms. Hurst.
Ms. Sandra?
Good evening.
Good evening.
May I approach?
Yes.
Yes.
Turn this in to the clerk. Distribute those, and then I'll take the copies remaining.
We're not gonna, be able to vote on them because we just received them today,
Oh, yeah.
but this is for your review. So I'm asked that, you know, we don't even have any questions until you have an opportunity to review this. And I don't wanna prolong this meeting. Remember that it's a playoff game, ladies.
Wow. Okay, so I'm I'm gonna try to make this
Real brief.
real brief, and do my best to explain. Typically, thank you once again, it was an honor to serve. Typically, this report is approximately, about 30-something pages due to the, State of the Union of the Village of Fort Heights. This report is a lot smaller. It's about 6 pages. With all due diligence and great effort, I was unable to offer an opinion on the Village of Fort Heights books and records. I disclaim an opinion. Disclaimer, it means that after looking at all the books and records, due to the pervasiveness of the books and records, with missing records and accounting records for this particular fiscal year 2020, I was not able to offer an opinion, and I will not offer an opinion on those books and records. So what that is that just to walk you through a very clean opinion, which is the greatest opinion, would be what would be considered unmodified. The next level down would be modified. The next level down would be adverse, it's bad. Then the next thing is can't do anything, or I could have took the option out and withdrew. So I didn't take the option out to withdraw from the municipality. I took the option to disclaim on the financial statements, which basically I'll read to you. It just says that a couple of things. One, in order for the financial statements, remember the auditor's responsibility is to audit the financial statements and give what is called an opinion on the fair representation of the financial statements. That means when you look at all the information, you aggregate it up, all these financial records, how they accumulate up, are they fairly represented to the public? Due to the pervasiveness of what happened with your accounting system and your accounting records and all the efforts that have been made to try to get things pulled together, unfortunately, that could not occur. So that pushed me into a pocket of saying that I could not make an opinion because as an independent auditor, the financial statements belong to you, and there's no way that I can make an opinion on information that is not correct. So, or have no way to verify if it's correct. So let me step that back. It tells you what the basis of the opinion is on. You can read it at your leisure, which I know you will. It also lets you know what the emphasis of the matter. Emphasis of the matter is what caused this to happen. So it lets you know what caused you to be in the situation that you're in this particular year. Also in the other matters, which is on the next page, it kind of tells you what were some other things that are required to be a part of this report, which could not be a part of this report because you have no financial records to build the report up. Also, it discussed what your responsibility is, it discussed what my responsibility is, and it discussed that a comparative report was only put in to allow you to gather information. So I'm gonna ask you just to momentarily join me on page 5, and I just wanna show you what caused the disclaimer of opinion, one particular area. If you join me on page 5, just if you start at the very top line, I'm not gonna call it out, you all see what it is, okay? There's a number that you see that's representative of negative 18,835, page 5. Look at it comparative, well, for the year it's 418, but look at it comparative to 2019, it was 226, but if you look at the governmental activities, it's saying that it's no dollars there. So this is how it rolled up in the book and the records. Is that correct? No way to know. If you look at another one, look at something that says due from other governments. Due from is a statement that says one fund owes another fund some money. You see that number over there? 4.4. What was it in 2019 on the audited books and records? 202,000. So I just want to show you the degree of variations that caused the disclaimer of an opinion, because this is the information that came out of the books and records at the municipality. Okay? So all of the numbers in the primary government and the business type categories is your actual data that's in your books and records. No changes, no modifications have been made to it from any end on the auditor side or what it is. It is as is. I want to step you through one other thing. The second page, if you go to, it's labeled page 17, but it'll be a clear number, the right number. I want you to go all the way down to the bottom. Right before net position ending, step one line up. You step one line up, you see there's two numbers you find there, 177,837. Then you see another one, negative 724,576. That's unlocated differences. So, in order to get these sheets to balance, for this sheet to speak to the previous sheet, that's what we call a plug in our language. But basically it's saying that is some information that can't be located. There's some variations that have happened and we were not able to identify it. Okay? So, what would typically follow behind this would be additional financial reports, but it doesn't make any sense to build additional financial reports if you can't get the first 2 pages with accurate data. So you can't build the other financial reports because the data is not there. Then what would fall behind here would be your notes. Your notes to tell you, what does the number represent? What is the information? How did it get here? What caused it to occur? This is in a normal, what we call a modified good opinion audit. Moving right along. The next pages is the pages that everybody was waiting on. So I want to let you know, I met with the mayor, I met with the village administrator. They were aware when I came out here on Friday that the opinion was going to be disclaimed. They also were aware that there were going to be several findings that led up to this. From those pages that you have, it starts with a sentence that says, as part of my audit, the financial statements of the Village of Fort Heights as of, for the year ended April 30th, 2020, I wish to communicate the following to you. Audit scope and results. For sensitivity of the nature in these financial statements, I ask that you read it. It also has what the finding is. The finding is noted as a comment. It also lets you know what the recommendation is and the recommendation, and then there has to be a response that has to be given back to me for the draft stamp to come out. So I did talk to Dr. Mary about it. I wanted to make sure that you all had it available to you. I got my notes wrong. I got my hay feet. But, you know, I got any tissue. Okay, thank you. But I did want to make sure that you were aware of what occurred, what is happening, and what is necessary to move the municipality forward. At this time, Mayor, I yield to the chair for any possible, what I call low-hanging fruit questions that I may address. Some I will refer back to the mayor and let this come back at another time.
Well, basically, my position was and is what it is. I was not here in 2020. Most of the board members were not here in 2020. And we understood that we have to get to the point where we're on solid ground, you know, with fiscal activities. We knew that most of the documentation was missing. I haven't been able to find anything. Minutes, the clerk's office was disrupted, ramshacked, documents misplaced. And so we knew that once it came time for an audit, to find the proper documentation, canceled checks, and the proper, statements to document fiscal activity, that it was gonna be an extreme challenge. And so what my recommendation to, village administrator and, the accountant was that we knew it was gonna be an adverse finding, okay? Now, after this is a final draft, the board will get an opportunity to, actually vote on this, to approve this document or to not approve this document. I'm gonna suggest that you look at it, because what you found is what it is. If there's anything missing, then bring it to the CPA's attention, and we could make whatever addendum that's necessary, as long as that could be substantiated. But this is an adverse finding. This is, it's bad.
It's low.
It's
It's not
bad,
even- it's
as
not
bad
even
as you
adverse.
could get, okay? And
Yeah.
don't expect it to get any better, because I was not here for the next fiscal year, okay? And so this is 2020. The next fiscal year, runs from May 1st to April 30th of 2021. I did not come in until May of 21. So you're gonna have another adverse finding, so you might as well get used to it. And we have to get past this to get to where we'll now start to get a decent audit report after that point. But this was another administration. I want the record to reflect that. You recording over there? You know, the fact that we certainly wasn't here, and this is bad. Why it's so humiliating is because I put a Stronger Communities grant together this week for the Illinois Department of Housing, and they asked for an audit. This is how this stuff affects everything. And folks, you need to know that when you put certain people in office, you gotta know that they can handle and manage municipal receipts, municipal revenue. And this is a classic case of mismanaging municipal revenue. That's all it is. And so I pretty much turned it over for any questions or comments from the board of trustees, because I knew what to expect. It doesn't surprise me.
May I say something, Mayor? I just want to clarify.
Yeah.
This is not an adverse. I was not able to offer an opinion. This is a disclaimer. There is no opinion.
Which it makes it even
It's
worse.
So I want to clarify
It's worse
that.
than having even a bad opinion.
Yeah, this is like, you didn't
Yeah.
even earn the F.
Okay. You didn't even earn an F, that's
It's
bad.
incomplete.
But that's what they put in office, so that's what it is.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Personally, I've been in Fort Heights for 55, 56 years. And for somebody to come here and we put our trust in that person that we thought was gonna do what's right, take all the records, take all the money, do as they please with it. They need to be held accountable. I don't care who it is. Whoever had something to do with that not being budgeted right or taken care of the right way need to be held accountable. Not say, okay, well, ain't nothing we can do, just let it be. No, if we do that on a regular basis, letting it be. I'm all for prosecuting whoever has something to do with those funds not being the way they should have been when the county took it.
So my authority is I am a CPA. I have a license to give you an opinion.
But you ain't got no opinion, you just
I
said.
don't have no opinion, which this is the document that goes over to Judge Studley, and then that goes over to legal, and that falls in the legal ball court, and they have to do what they have to do legal. So I wanna make sure we understand what my responsibility is and what legal's responsibility is. So that would be a question that gets directed
Well, I
to
was
your legal
understood.
representation.
I was personally trying to understand that if a person do something that's unjust, do the board have to approve for that to go into the system, to the state's attorney or whoever?
You can make a recommendation that you turn it over to the state's attorney. But it'll be the state's attorney's office who will make a determination
If it's
of whether they're going to proceed.
Prosecute. I'm reckoning. I'm putting the
Let's wait,
recommendation.
let's wait. You have to first let your legal get the document, after the board approves whatever, turn it over to legal, let him review it, and then the board works with the village attorney to do whatever the board wants to do.
That
Okay.
needs to be done.
Any other questions for the CPA? Attorney, or the attorney?
Excuse me, I have one other question. I'm not trying to be smart or jazzy, but you put this in front of me like I have no clue what none of this means or
But
says,
once you
because I'm
go
not
through it,
accounting.
once you go through it, then you'll be in a position where the expo questions of what does this represent, what does this represent?
So it's interesting that you state that. That is one of the comments that the board and also all of the municipal leadership really understand. I think a great call out, you know, and an honest, transparent call out is that you all understand the financial statements, the notes and everything, because the only pages that ever belongs to the auditor are these first 2 pages. Everything else in the report, and if it was 33 pages behind here, belong to you. And all I'm doing is taking your information as a qualified, professional, certified public and accountant, and I'm giving you an opinion on your financial records. There's a statement that I would say in here that gave you what I'm gonna say covering. And I researched this to see how that covering could come to the leadership that is in existence right now. So to make sure that this didn't represent me or represent you bad. And it says, you're not able to provide representation on this information because you weren't here. But, say for instance that you were here, and say for instance that all of this information in here was good or better, you would have to sign a management representation letter to say that you understand every number in the document. You understand every footnote disclosure. You understand that's all management's responsibility. That's all governance responsibility. So that does not fall on the CPA or the auditor, but one of the comments and recommendations was that you do need to engage a subject matter expert that can help you understand that. So thank you for being transparent with that.
Okay, any other questions for the council? Okay.
So next steps is, just a week before I take my seat, Mayor, next steps, we made a commitment to the comptroller's office to start moving you in compliance. So after you all give approval on the, you all work on your management responses, this will get uploaded to the comptroller. In the interim, my team will start commencing to work on 2021. So we're not stopping, but in order for you to stop the state from coming in and getting phone calls, and now I'm getting those phone calls.
Well, it took about, a year to come up with this, right?
Well, that was a little bit challenging because there was not even an infrastructure in place. You at least got an infrastructure, so we shouldn't take a year to get.
Let me say this real quick, and Mary, correct me if I'm wrong. I expect for 2021 to be just like this. Okay, now, I expect it because you had the same team in place. It should not take a year
It
to
won't.
get a disclaimer opinion,
No.
because the good thing is, if you could find anything good out of this, is that we've had a year under this administration, and I think that once we get to 22, that we will start to get qualified audits and something significantly better that you can at least hold your head up for.
So I would say yes, an agreement,
In other words, you could probably almost just duplicate this and,
You know what, I wish it was that easy, I just have to let you know before I take my seat.
yeah.
Disclaimer is the hardest opinion to actually turn over. And it requires more work, and it requires more protective on the CPA side that's coming in the audit, because we have to prove why we gave the disclaimer and support it with just loads and loads and loads of
You
documents.
had no documents, you had no cancel checks, you had no bank
Yeah, but-
statement, you
but-
had no, you ain't gonna have it in 21, so you don't have to do and take a year in order to get the same opinion.
Well, the records are there, so what I'm explaining, you're right, we have no documentation, but I'll just give you an example and take my seat. If you have 100 transactions that comes out, I have to test 50% of the population. 50% of the population, I gotta do every single test to prove you have no documentation. So it's not as simple as just saying, there's no documentation, I have to do all the work.
I'm just hoping it doesn't take a year.
No, I'm
Okay.
sure.
Because it does, we gotta get through this and get to where you should be no more than a year behind in your audits with the controller's office. We're 3 years. This will make us 2 years. So we get through this and get to 22, and then we'll, at least start to look a lot better.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate it. Next on the agenda is committee reports. License and finance.
Basically, what's in front of you guys is a bill list from outstanding financial year and the current bills we need to pay. It's a long list, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Okay, even though the village doesn't have the revenue to pay, a bill list this extensive, what, we're asking for is for you to look at each line item. All these are actual debt. Approve the bill list for payment when funds become available. So can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Wilson, is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Second by trustee McMichael. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Wilson,
Yes.
trustee Andrews, trustee McMichaels,
Yes.
trustee Harper,
Yes.
trustee Viverett.
Yes.
The motion is carried to approve of the bill list that is in front of you pending funding.
Okay, thank you. License finance, anything else? Okay, next, is personnel and administration, trustee McMichaels. This is a new assignment. Next, board meeting, the first board meeting in July, you'll see some new committees. I did appoint, trustee McMichaels has been, chairperson over personnel in the past under my administration. And so therefore, that role briefly is to do most interviewing for any new hires, to deal with employee issues and to work with the village administrator. And so I welcome and look forward to working with you, trustee McMichaels.
Yes, sir.
Do you have anything that you want to say?
Not really, I work with every board and it's the same, right?
All right. Thank you. Any questions for trustee McMichaels for the council?
So who else on that committee?
I will issue the committee, and the composition of committees, the first board meeting in July. Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Also, under police and fire, trustee Wilson, this is a new assignment. Trustee Wilson has done a fabulous job under community development. He will continue to work as my point person for housing and housing development. But he's gonna take on this assignment because I'm sure that he'll do a tremendous job in this area. Matter of fact, I invited him to participate in a meeting with the Cook County Sheriff Police Department as it relates to a number of issues that we want to eradicate. With new housing coming in here, you have a $50 million development that's happening off of 394. You just adopted a new site plan revision for another $30 million project. And so things look really, really bright for the municipality. We have to make sure our police and fire is together. And regardless of what whoever thinks, this is not personal, all right? Trustee Wilson could be hard, that's what I need right now.
Yeah.
In that particular department, I need somebody that's gonna be hard.
Right.
You know, to make sure things are done right. Do you have anything, trustee, right now, as it relates to the meeting that we had, anything?
I'm just zero tolerance.
Okay,
We need to do what we need to do to make it happen for the community.
that's right. Thank you, sir.
Can I say something?
No. Thank you. Only on public comment, which is coming up
Yes, sir.
next.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. On the streets and alley, trustee Griffin is not, present, but he's held that position before. Public health and sanitation is trustee Harper. Trustee Harper is a new fight, a newlywed. Not the newlywed, but the new, whatever it is. At any rate, he's new to this. I'm gonna work with trustee Harper, with his committee is public health and sanitation. You know, this deals with some really important issues. You know, if you have an epidemic, pandemic, or something that's happening, it would be trustee Harper and his committee that's working with Cook County Department of Public Health, as well as the Illinois Department of Public Health. It would be him that, do periodic reviews of food products that's sold at local stores, whether there's some, health issues in our residential community. So it's a very, very important committee, and, let you know, I did put some members on that committee that have been in that capacity before that can assist you, trustee, but I look forward to working with you. And the next committee, is a new committee as well. As you know that, water is an issue, and, water and sewer, under trustee Deverett, leadership trustee, I look forward to working with you. The Village of Fort Heights purchases water from, actually, the civic city of Hammond. We have a water acquisition, a water purchase agreement with Hammond, as well as Chicago Heights. And as you know, there's some litigation that's going on with Chicago Heights, where the village is about $700,000 in debt as it relates to water. We had to come up with something. I talked with you briefly about, I have some leads on putting meters on every home. Right now, we charge a flat rate. So you have people over here, some seniors that they, pay a senior rate, but they still pay a flat rate. You have individuals over here, 2 people in the household that might not use 1,000 gallons of water. They pay $100, let's say, and you got a person over here that's washing cars, 50 cars a month, they pay $100, that's not fair. And so we have to have a more equitable process, a fair process, and one that will work and make sure that we reduce our water consumption level, as well as make sure that folks are paying for what it is that they use. And so, trustee, I know that you, know the mayor up there in Chicago Heights and all the players up there in the Heights, and I don't get along with them too well, but, you know, we get along, it's just that we have a difference in politics. And so, I strategically put you in that position, you know, so you'll be the liaison person that works with not only, TJ and those folks in Chicago Heights, but those folks in Hammond, Indiana as well. And, certainly welcome you. Any questions for any of the council members? Okay, thank you, it's, 6:07. Know what happens at 7, right?
Yes.
Okay, any old business? Any new business? Now, Mr. Burke, citizens, you had a comment, sir?
I do. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you to the trustees of Fort Heights. Recently, I was at the site, and Trustee Wilson, I just wanted to let you know that a couple of the police officers have inquired already concerning moving into the new development, and so I just wanted to let you know we're going to welcome them in that endeavor.
Okay. And I'm gonna reiterate that we get together on that piece of legislation.
Yes.
Because I think that would be really instrumental,
Yes.
you know, and,
Yes, go on.
help out
Yes,
a lot.
sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you,
Okay.
trustee.
Any other questions, comments, anybody other than Don? Go ahead, Doctor.
Finish the fire hydrants with the dirt in that.
Excuse me?
The fire hydrant replaced for my house, and there's a big, needs a lot more dirt there. That was done 6 months to a year ago. When are they gonna finish it?
You got a new fire hydrant?
Yeah,
Praise the Lord.
but there's, all the dirt's missing, you know?
Okay, we'll talk with Public Works about that, and make sure that they take care of that situation. Okay?
Okay.
Madam Clerk, would you make a note that, in front of Don's house, there's a fire hydrant that's missing some dirt?
A lot of dirt.
A lot of dirt.
If they took it out, could they put
All
it
right,
back in?
thank you. Yes, sir.
Mayor,
Your name just for the record.
pardon me?
Your name, address for the record.
Jimmy Watson, 1445 Lexington, Fort Heights. Mayor, I got quite a few things to ask you, but I'm not gonna ask you all of them right now. So I'm gonna ask to have some time to meet with you in the future. But my one question today is, the meeting you having with this, gentleman right here about the housing, is that tomorrow?
Yes, I'm gonna meet with him about a piece of legislation that'll put a cap on the amount of property taxes you can charge for new construction. Other than that, those homes that he's building will come with about a $6,000 or $7,000 property tax bill. I want that cap, no more than $3,000. I want it to be a cap where affordable housing should be exactly what it's supposed to be, affordable housing. Not where, okay, cause you go get a mortgage, but you can't afford to stay in it. So, that's what that's about, Mr. Watson.
All right then, well, we'll schedule a meeting and talk about the other stuff.
Okay, thank you. Any other citizens? Reverend Jones?
Yes, sir. Fidel Jones, 1425 Senator. Couple things real quick. Mr. Wilson, you were going to be over the police and fire. One thing that you please could you look into is that in the state of Illinois, it is illegal to have open alcohol out in the public. So we're doing a lot of that in Fort Heights now, and I don't condone it. There's a new sports bar and grill opening up, and I talked to the police yesterday and told them, could you please stop these guys from drinking in the parking lot? Because it's not something that we want to happen. So we can get on that, that'd be awesome. Speaking of that, inviting all of you guys, everybody in the community, and to the new sports bar and grill right down 1207 East Lincoln Highway. The grand opening is Saturday at 3 p.m. If you can't make it Saturday, stop out on the way tonight. Check out the game or something. Look and see what's been done in the community. It's a business, it's a legitimate business. It's nice, it's awesome. You'll be proud. So,
Mr. Jones, I have a question.
yes, sir.
I ride by sometime late in the night, Friday, Saturday, and you gotta come up with some type of system to where the people are not hanging out in front of the business, in front of the parking lot, lollygagging and talking or whatever. If you got a business, they should be inside your establishment or whoever establishment it is, then allow them guys, cause that look as bad as the store
So here's one
when
of the
they're hanging
problems.
out.
So here's one of the problems. The county refused to work with us. I tell them, put them, first of all,
But don't they have security?
yeah, but that's just on the lot, but the next block is the gas station lot.
Right.
Everybody know that don't belong to, to our building. So they tell me, this is not your property, which they right. I can't tell you have somebody else's property, so I asked the county, could you stop all these guys from having open alcohol and things? And they said, we'll check them out. They told me the other day, don't worry about it, if something happens, we'll come up then, but until then, we're not coming up here. So, the security we have honors our parking lot and do things there, but after that, they go right to the next parking lot park, they got open alcohol bottles, they go across the street and buy open alcohol bottles, sit them out all night, buy that, which have nothing to do with us. So, I understand what you're saying, so, I don't know what to do, what you're saying, maybe I got higher security. So, I don't know, they can't go out to the other lot and make it, unless, now if the village donate that other lot to me, I'll fence it off and make sure that nobody get in that lot. That's what I want to do for real, so. It's up to y'all, just make a call, y'all make a call.
All right, thank you, sir. We'll certainly look at it. Any other comments or statements from guests or residents? Consider done. Thank you all for coming. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Wilson, is there a second? Second by trustee Andrews. All in favor, you sign by.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. So ordered. Thank you.